Okay. So, can y'all tell me a little bit about how the High Road on Dawson came to be involved with the Imagination Library?
Yeah, sure. So we're both members of the lodge of the High Road on Dawson. We were both Elks prior to that. And Jen and I, participated in a committee that was kind of put together just to create charitable events because one of the purposes of the lodge besides community is to do charitable things. And so in the committee, we kind of discovered that there was a bunch of us that were fans of Dolly's. We just thought she was super, a spectacular human. She was a great entertainer, but also just this cool person, like this entity that deserved recognition, and we really liked her. And one of our committee members, it was either you or Heather, had said, "Have you seen the thing on the Imagination Library?"
I think that was me. I think I had found out about the Imagination Library, and so when the whole Dolly thing started talking, I was like, oh. And then you knew when her birthday was,
right?
And you decided we should throw her a birthday party,
yeah,
every year, forever,
right? And so that kind of, there's a lot of events where we pay homage in Austin to different musicians. There's Buck Owens' birthday party,
the Loretta Pie Social.
Yeah, Loretta Lynn Pie Social, and I've always had a realization that there was not a Dolly event and that she deserved her own special. There's a lot of musicians that like to sing her songs, so why not give them a chance to do that? So that was it was kind of like a light bulb, and I said, we should do an event, we should do Dolly's birthday party, and then I think you or Heather said, we should open our own branch of the Imagination Library. And then we decided that the party would be the fundraiser. We didn't realize at the time that the party was going to be sell out and be so successful that we would...
Yeah, it was entirely conceivable that the party might have just been us sitting upstairs like, woohoo, yay Dolly.
With some friends that are musicians singing songs.
So when is her birthday?
So it's the weekend of it's Martin Luther King Jr.'s day, which I think is the 19th. Yeah. But it just kind of falls on that holiday weekend. And so I was like, oh, that's a holiday weekend. We should do it then because people, have an extra day off. We should try and use that.
So that was the party that initiated the funds for the Imagination Library?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And I read that this is the first one in Austin, but I'm assuming not the first in Texas?
No, there's several other branches in Texas. There's some are rural. There's a couple, I think, in Houston, and I think at least 2 in Dallas.
Okay.
And then there's a couple scattered in small towns, usually run by libraries or PTAs or other places. We're the only lodge I know that has taken on this sort of thing.
That's really cool, though, and especially it's for a fairly big city like Austin that no one else has done this before.
Yeah, they've got a process you've got to go through, and I think some people get intimidated by that because it's very much like they've got their formula that you need to follow, and I think some people...
The paperwork.
Yeah, is like...
is a deterrent.
Yeah, but for us, we narrowed it down to a zip code, which is what we chose to start with, and our zip code is 78721, and so we'll be signing kids up starting hopefully next week, and our goal is to be one of the fastest growing Dolly Imagination Libraries ever.
Yeah,
so.
our fundraising has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I think in other cities, like Jen said, it's PTAs, and I don't think that they're raising the amount of money that we have the ability to raise in Austin because it's a music-related event.
Yeah. And because we have the support of the High Road. Like, they donate the space to us to hold the event, which we can sell out because we've got the audience here.
You don't have to rent out a venue.
Yeah, we don't even really advertise because it's just word of mouth between the musicians and all the High Road members and, the little bit of press we've swung, we've been able to sell out.
Yeah, we had actually planned to advertise in the Austin Chronicle last year, had our ad space, had everything designed, but hadn't paid for it yet because we were just waiting until the week prior, and we had already sold out, so we ended up just deciding not to advertise because that was just based on a few Facebook posts. I mean, it wasn't, we hadn't created flyers, we hadn't done any marketing. We just started posting to kind of our own friends about, hey, you like Dolly Parton, here's this cool event, and it sold out. So I don't think we'll advertise again this year.
No.
because we really don't have the
This
capacity
year,
to do more.
I am going to call Lucy in disguise and remind them that the party's coming. So, because there were people who were like, yeah, they were out of dolly wigs. And
Yeah.
all
Oh,
that.
that's funny.
So I'm going to call them and give them a heads
Yeah.
up about a month before and be like, I don't know where costume places get their stuff, but if there's a warehouse full of dolly stuff, you might want to acquire it.
Kenny Rogers.
Yes, Kenny Rogers.
You know, whoever else, or often
Porter
put-
Wagner. It was
yeah,
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first year that the costume contest was just dolly, but we did, some of the guys did not. They were like, well, I want to dress up too. So we expanded it to you could be Burt Reynolds and Porter Wagner.
Kenny
and
Rogers.
there was a Kenny Rogers.
We did,
And
yeah.
and people really had fun with it. There was a guy last year handing out little business cards that he had made. It was Rent a Burt. It was
That
really
is
funny, and
funny.
it was the
Yeah.
Burt shot of him on the bearskin rug.
Yeah. He actually made those for the
He
event.
made them for the party and handed them out. It was
He
so
didn't win.
funny.
He didn't win, but he probably should have, just
Yeah.
because of the card that I've enjoyed in my wallet all year long.
I think he had a ton of fun, even though he didn't win.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I'm sure we'll see him again in
Yes.
the same
That is
costume,
funny.
because
Yes,
he's
same
invested
one.
a lot of energy
Yes.
and time.
That's fine by me. He
Yeah.
can
That
show up
is
every year.
funny.
Yes.
I would save that in my wallet too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's pinned to my corkboard at home.
Yeah.
So, I've been in Austin pretty much all of my life, minus living away periodically, but I'm not familiar with this area of the zip code.
Okay.
That was one of my
it's-
questions is, since you can't start in the whole city, what
Yeah.
area or school
Um,
district?
It's MLK 183. I forget what the eastern boundary.
Yeah, so it's 12th Street.
Yeah.
So basically, it's
here, let me pull it
it's
up.
MLK. It becomes around Weberville Road,
Mhm.
where it runs into 183, and then becomes 969. So it's the cutoff is at 183. So
Yeah.
it's still west of 183, but east of 35.
Yeah, I'd call it Central East. But
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
a little
And then it
further
goes
east
over
than
in
you
the
think.
12th Springdale area is kind of the cutoff for it. It's
That's it.
actually a really large zip code. When you drive the zip code,
Yeah.
you're like, wow, this encompasses a lot of children.
It does. Yeah, I used to live in East Riverside, so yeah, that's a great area to start. And so, what are some of the goals? With the amount you were able to raise through the party and through the networking and word of mouth, what is the goal of the next year? It is a large area.
I think that might be more my end of things, because I'm the one who's dealing with the Imagination Library. And they have a set series of goals for membership. Like, their 5-year plan is that the first year you get 20% of eligible kids signed up. And by year 5, you've got 100% of the
Okay.
eligible kids signed up. I can send you the number of kids in that zip code, because they break it down for us.
Sure.
But it's less than 1,000 kids right now. But I don't know how old their numbers are. Austin is
Give or take,
Austin.
right.
And, for all we know, they put up 5 apartment complexes since they did their numbers. So, and it is for 5 and unders. So, their goals are 20% every year, and they give you the costs that would be associated with them sending that many books out each year. My personal goal is to have that done in 4 years, and to have raised enough money to have added a zip code by year 4. That's the hope, depending on how well the event rolls.
Right.
I mean, the cost gets higher and higher the more kids you've got. Basically, the High Road and our team, the Dolly team, are responsible for all the funding, and we send the funds to the Imagination Library, and they ship the books out to the kids.
So they have pre-selected books.
Yes, there's a series
Oh,
of books
nice.
every kid
Okay.
gets. You start with the little engine that could, and then they
Yeah, they're
Keep sending
they're
books.
gender neutral books. We kind of looked into them. Also, there's not any sort of
Yeah.
political or religious
Yeah, no.
message. They're just books.
It really is just the goal of getting storybooks to kids.
Kind of like Rainbow Fish, Owl Moon,
Yes.
all
Yes.
of the classics.
Yes.
And
Max
then-
and Ruby, yeah, lots of just
and so-
books.
So the idea is by the time that the children start kindergarten, they kind of have their own little library of their own.
Yes.
That's exactly.
And it
right.
comes in the mail addressed to the kid.
Oh, that's
Like a
nice.
kid.
They get a present every
They
month.
get
Yeah.
their own little mail.
A surprising number of homes with children have no books. None. Which is so upsetting to me even now, even though I know it's true. And the idea of a kid who might live in a home with no books whatsoever gets a book in the mail every month, addressed to them for them to open and to have. I think that is I mean, not every kid is going to be like, wow, that's amazing. But some kids are going to be like, huh, I get a book every month. Wow.
Also,
somebody cares enough to send me a book every month.
It's a present.
It's
it's
also
going to be great.
having their own little things, because even though kids don't always have the maturity or cognizance, they have the same feelings, and so it's like they're starting their own little collection.
Sure. And then another thing is there's longitudinal studies that show just having books in homes increases children's IQ, and they've done studies where they've shown kids that had the Encyclopedia Britannica in their house and never opened them, they just sat on the shelf. I mean, everybody in the 70s had those encyclopedias and they took up a huge amount of wall space, but they had them, but that those kids score better and do better on standardized testing, which maybe it's the standardized tests that are the problem, I don't know, but I'm just saying that they show that having books increases IQ. So we're hoping that we're providing a present, something that's just for this child that they receive, that's theirs, that the parents will sit down, or a brother or sister or somebody will be instructed to sit down with the child and read to the child, which creates bonding and intimacy with family members. Maybe the TV will get turned off, or screen time will stop for a few minutes to read a short book. So we're just really hoping that we're planting a seed in a home that
for education, family time, community, bringing the community together.
Mm-hmm.
That's So you said that this year there won't be another fundraiser, but will it be the annual Dolly Parton birthday every year? Will you start to?
That'll be the cornerstone of all of our fundraising going forward. I don't see that changing. We're hoping to add events of one sort or another as we go forward, because we will need to increase our funding.
Right.
But that'll always be the cornerstone of our fundraising.
And then I guess my last question would be, since I'm not familiar with how the Imagination Library works, are y'all hoping to connect with other nonprofits or school districts, etc., to build awareness to promote this in Austin, or does it not work that way in regard that each organization has to individually become a part of the Imagination Library?
The way that Imagination Library is set up, we have partnered with the Austin Public Library Friends Foundation. It's a long name. I can send you the link.
Sure.
We've partnered with them because the way the Imagination Library is set up, because they do the bulk mailing from Tennessee, they need a nonprofit to be the return address. That's the way their deal with the post office works.
Yeah.
So we have gratefully accepted the partnership of Austin Public Library Friends Foundation in order to be able to use their return address, and doing so, we'll be able to use some of their mechanisms for getting the word out about the Dolly Imagination Library, and they'll be able to, help us. We're going to actually host here the big central library that they're building?
Yes.
We're going to host here at the High Road a big neighborhood information session about the new central library with the Austin Public Library Friends Foundation as, an easy way to have an event and help them get the word out to everyone in the city. It'll be open to the public, and it'll be great, because I know I'm curious about what all is going to be over there. I mean, it's going to be a really cool library. So
Interesting. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with me about this new project? Or I guess charity campaign, however you'd like to look at it.
No, I mean, I think, are both really super grateful for all the support we've gotten from pretty much everyone we've ever asked for help. Like, Terry Joyce has put together a great lineup of musicians every year, and we've had nothing but, happy. I mean, Dolly makes people happy.
She does, and everybody that we talk to about this, plan has been really supportive.
Yeah.
The lodge, they really have supported us in all areas and encourage us to. We're gonna Jen had said, we're gonna add extra events eventually, because we have to keep. If we're gonna get extra zip codes, we can only grow so much unless we add events on. So, we're looking forward to kind of the future and doing more fundraising and getting kids reading.
Yeah.
Oh, and one more question just occurred to me in my brain. For those who want to start their own Imagination Library collection, but they don't qualify for the school districts or the areas that are less privileged, but they still want to be part of it. Is there a list of the books that are shipped out that someone could personally buy if they wanted to start their child with their own little collection?
Yes, the list is on the Dolly
Okay,
Imagination
I'll look
Library
into it.
website. I'm pretty sure it's just imaginationlibrary.com, and
I'll find
you
it.
can check it out. And,
Yeah, I saw the site. I just didn't. When you said there was
Yeah.
an organized list, I thought that was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's what's neat is if you go like on YouTube, for example, Dolly's done interviews about this library and why she started it, and it's interesting to watch. She's such a character, and she's she's very passionate about literacy. She grew up in very rural area, very poor. A lot of her songs talk about that. Her mom making a code out of scraps of fabric outside and stuff. And so this was something very near and dear to her heart, just because in rural communities there aren't libraries.
Yeah.
And
even if there are, maybe there's not a way to get to them.
yeah, so we're excited about getting to this to Austin. We know there's great libraries here, but people don't always access them. Have the time or the ability to go and take their kids regularly to check out books and to get them returned in the time frame and deal with all the things that go with that. And so we're excited to get families participating. I think we're going to grow really fast.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing the event where we've done it for 2 years.
This will be
but
the
this is
second.
but this is actually we're finally getting the actual library off the ground, and it's very exciting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much
Yeah,
for your
thanks.
time.
Yeah, thanks so much. This is great.